life process. Now, what is life process? What do we generally understand by life process? Listen, life process is something you can say that, ma'am, we are alive and dog is alive, cat is alive. Why they are alive? Why dog is alive? Why cat is alive? Because you can see something, some movement. You can see some movement. Okay, so these movements are of two type. Basically, you can see something, some movement which are visible. You can see with your naked eyes. You don't need any type of electroscope, or you don't need any type of microscope or any other devices which makes you allow to see something tiny, which are very tiny. So you can see something visible, something are visible to you, visible to us, without using any apparatus or any device. So visible things are, as you can see me, I'm teaching, so I'm moving, you can see me easily. You are sitting, you can see dog is running, cat is eating, because these moments are visible. So generally we can say that some things or anything which is movable, we can see its movement, it is considered as living. Now if I ask about any organism which is sleeping, now dog is sleeping and cat is sleeping and anyone is sleeping, okay, now what would you say? What would you say if, if someone is sleeping? You can say this organism is alive. Okay, this organism is sleeping and it is not taking any type of activity, or this organism is not doing any type of physical activity, just like dog is sleeping, cat is. Hello, kindly off your mic. So any organism which are not directly in movement, it is sleeping. And if I will ask to you that this organism, this living organism is dead or alive, again you will say it is alive or living. Why so? Because during sleeping you can see it's very tiny small movement which is known as breathing. This organism is in breathing process. It takes air and it release air. We know that it takes oxygen and release out to carbon dioxide, and we will study it in very detail later on. So again you say that if any organism is sleeping, it is breathing, and we can see the breathing process. Something is moving, chest is moving up and down, up and down. Okay, now if I ask, what about plants? What about plants? Now we were talking about animals. Now what about plants? You can say that plants are also living. Generally, plant never do any type of movement. Generally, okay. I'm not talking about something like there is air or there is breeze or the leaves are moving. No, generally plants never shows any type of movement. Okay, they don't show any type of movement. Next thing is that when plant never show any type of movement, you say that plant have green leaves. And because they are having green leaves, we can say that plant is living, because generally the plant, those who are dead plants, those plants are dead, they their leaves are in yellowish color, and something which is very visible to us, like yellowish color and brown, the leaves turn into yellow and again they turn into brown color. Okay, but generally when I ask to you that plant are living or not, you will say that plant are living, because generally they don't show any type of movement like walking, running, eating, sleeping, breathing, but they are green. Okay, now my another question is, what about those plant whose leaves are not green? In general there are so many types of plant, they don't contain green leaves. The color of leaves are generally other than green. It could be yellow, or it could be orange. If you know about a plant known as palash, you can find it here in Rajasthan. So what about those plant which have orange color or yellow color leaf? Again you will say they are alive. Okay, so what is the basis or what is the criteria which makes you to decide every time that this is alive, this is alive, this is alive? So the criteria is something, it is, you know, in your mind that now this plant is this much height, at this much height, and after some time it will grow at this much height because it is rooted, it can take water from soil. So you can say that either it is not having green leaves or there are no specific features, but this plant is alive because plant is rooted, plant is taking water or minerals, and it will grow its height. Okay, so you will again say that plant is living. Okay, so there is something which is not just right now, but after some days or after some years, you can see something is growing or something is working or something is changing its shape or something is changing its size. So we can say that there is any kind of movement present. Okay, the movement could be growth related or cannot be growth related. What is the meaning of growth related movement? Growth related movement means you were kids before some years, and now you are as tall as your parents. So this is growth related movement, we can say this. Okay, the plant is very tiny now and after some years it will grow long. So this is also, this movement is also growth related. Okay, this is growth related movement. But what about some people, those who acquired their confirmed height, or what about those plant who acquired their confirmed height and not going to change their size, shape or height in future? Okay, so there are also some movement which are not growth related, which are not growth related. The movement which are growth related, as you can see, nails are growing, you can see your height is growing, you can see the size of plant is growing, you can see the size of leaf is growing, you can see the size of flower and fruit is growing. So that is growth related movement. You can see that growth is occurring, so it is movement or it is alive. Okay, but there are so many other organisms which never show growth, but they are alive. They show some kind of movement like breathing, like flow of blood in their bodies, or the working of various other functions like heart beating. They are also kind of movement. Heart beating is a movement, flow of blood is a movement, breathing is a movement. But by these movements an organism cannot grow. No? We cannot say that somebody's heart is breathing and because due to the breathing beating of its heart it will attain certain height. No, it is not possible anyhow. So there are generally two type of movement. Okay, so any movement, you can see this movement, you can see the breathing of heart, you cannot see from outside the body, but you can generally hear the sound of heart beating. So these are visible movement, and with this makes any organism alive. Now there are so many other types of movement. We studied about movement which are visible, either they are growth related or they are not growth related. Some movements are growth related, we can see that organisms are growing, and some movements are not growth related, so we can see that organisms are not growing. Okay, but there is movement and we can see it. Okay, now what about movement which are not visible to us, which are not visible to us? There are so many movements which are not visible to us. What is this movement? This movement is known as molecular movement. Molecular movement. You studied about molecules in very, 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 very detail in your ninth class, that you know about what is molecule, what is atom, what is substance. Okay. So generally, we are made up of body. Listen this carefully. This is very important thing, that how we are made up of. Okay, how we are made by some elements. Okay, each and every organism present on this earth, present on this planet, from virus to human beings, each and every organism, it is made up of basic elements like carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, phosphorus, sulfur, magnesium, calcium. Have you heard someone said to you that our bones are made up of calcium, so you need to drink a specific amount of milk to maintain our bones healthy, because our bones are made up of calcium. Our nails are made up of a sort of calcium. We need magnesium for so many processes. Okay, nitrogen is present in our cell, in our DNA. If you remember what is DNA. So our body is made up of organ system. What is organ system? Organ system is alimentary canal. Organ system is organ system is digestive system. Organ system is respiratory system. Organ system is urinary system. Okay. Now this organ system is made up of organ. Like digestive system is made up of a large intestine, small intestine, stomach, esophagus, and mouth. Now organs are made up of tissue. Okay, just I can say that our stomach is made up of so many types of tissue. Tissues are made up of cell. We know this. Now what after that? Cells are made up of cellular organ. We know about this. Cells are made up of cellular organ. What cellular organs are? Mitochondria, Golgi apparatus, nucleus, ribosome, etc. Now what after that? For from which thing the cellular organs are made up of? So cellular organs are made up of molecules. What molecules? Molecules like H2O, water, molecules like calcium carbonate, and in general we can say in calcium carbonate is present also, it present on eggshell. So calcium, again calcium is a type of element. Carbonate, in carbonate it is C, and carbon is also kind of element, and oxygen is also kind of element. Okay, uh, we are made up of this thing. If you remember this is sugar molecule. Now our cell organelles are made up of molecules, and molecules are made up of elements. These elements. Okay, so the movement of these molecules, okay, this is our cell. Okay, each and every time, you don't know you are getting older. Now you will say, ma'am, we are going younger. Yes, you are going younger, but after a certain stage you will grow older, you will age. Okay, you have heard so many times that we lose our dead skin. Each and every day we lose our dead skin. Some cells comes out, slug off from our body, and we need to release them, or generally our body release them, but sometimes we need to release them. You can see dead skin like whenever you brush something or whenever you scratch your body, you can see some white flaky mask. It is dead skin. Okay, so we are getting older. Our skin is getting removing its waste product, or our skin is shading its old layer. Okay, its old layer is shading. This is known as dead skin. Okay, sometimes we suffer from disease. Now we need to fight with this disease. Okay, we suffer from cough and cold, and generally in recent time we are suffering from a biggest disaster, a virus known as corona. So okay, so we need to fight with this. Okay, so for this our body needs energy. For repair, and maintenance. Our body needs energy for repair and maintenance. For fighting, of course. So fighting is also, you can say, maintenance thing. We don't allow this foreigner viruses and bacteria to come inside our body and give us diseases. Okay. So for these things, we need some energy. Okay. So for needing the energy, and as we are in need of energy, we need power for our body. We need energy for our body. We need maintenance for our body. So this is our cell, and generally I don't know, you don't know, we don't know, nobody knows that our cell, we have, generally we are having 10 to the power 60 cell. You can imagine the number, it is in trillions, trillions and trillions, zillions. So generally we are having 10 to the power 60 cells, and almost all of the cell, okay, all of the cells are working continuously from our birth to death. Okay, cell also dead, but in their lifetime they works a lot. Your cell works more than you. So cell produces some specific type of, like we have eaten our food and we need to digest our food, so cell needs to work to produce digestive enzyme. Okay, we don't know, and our nails are growing, so our cell needs to produce something which helps us to grow our nails. Our body is fighting with disease, we don't know our body is fighting with our disease, and cell needs to produce something which can fight with this disease or this disease causing organism. So each and every time our cell needs to work. Okay, there is something always running inside a cell. Okay, and you cannot see a cell with your naked eyes. We cannot see a cell with our naked eyes. It is definitely it is possible that you need any microscope to see cell, because cell is very tiny structure. No one can see, no human is born, no human was born to see cell with naked eyes. So that cell is very tiny structure, but there is always something, a huge traffic, huge reactions, so many reactions, thousands of reactions are running inside a cell at particular second. At this particular second there are several and several reactions are going inside our cell, either uh, producing or removal of old skin. Okay, just we are getting older, and some cells of our body shades on daily basis. We are fighting with disease, we need power, we need energy, we need maintenance, we need to secrete some enzymes. Okay, now you are in growth zone, so you also need something to grow your height. Okay, sometimes our bones are damaging and we need calcium. So there are so many types of activities running into cell, and we are not aware of this. We are not aware of this. Do you know that the cell of your, what is the cell of your toe is doing what right now? You don't know that the cell of my hair is doing what right now. It is doing something right now. Okay, so there are so millions of activities. Cells of our intestine is secreting digestive enzyme right now, they are secreting. We don't know about this because cells are so tiny and we cannot see it. So if the cell is much tiny and we cannot see it with naked eyes, it is quite possible that we cannot see, that is it not possible that we can see all the reactions running inside the cell. It is not possible. You cannot see. If you are not able to see a cell, how would you be able to see the reaction running inside the cell? So this type of movement, or definitely there is a movement you cannot see with naked eyes, and these type of movement which are taking place inside a cell, thousands of reactions are taking inside a place, inside a cell per second, but we cannot see it with naked eyes. This type of movement is known as molecular movement, because a cell is made up of cell organelle, and cell organelles are made up of elements. So there are so many types of element working for a reaction to give something, to maintain something, and this type of movement is known as molecular movement. It is not visible to us, but we can say that if a molecular activity is taking place inside an organism, then it is living. Okay, what about coma persons? Coma persons are also known as living dead. Those who go in coma, living dead. Okay, you cannot talk with a person who is in coma, or you cannot talk with a person who is on ventilator. Okay, so if the person is on ventilator or it is in coma condition, you cannot say that it is completely dead. Why so? We know this because there are some activities still going inside its body. It cannot laugh, it cannot move, it cannot dance, it cannot eat. Okay, these are the movements which are visible to us. But what about some other movements that we cannot see, but the person who is in coma never see movement which are visible to us, but it show movement, but it creates movement which are not visible to us, and these movements are known as, yes, molecular movement, because they occurs, molecular movements occur inside a cell, and we cannot see the so many types of reactions or movements occur inside our cell. So now a question arises. What is the question? What is the question? That if someone is not showing you visible movement, if someone, it could be plant or it could be animal, if someone, plant or animal, is not showing any visible movement, to us, then what would we say? What would we say? Either it is living or dead. The answer is, if it is showing molecular movement. If it is showing molecular movement, then it is living for sure. Okay, so the visible movement is not a clear cut criteria. It is not a denotion. It is not a clear cut criteria. It is not a it is not a clear cut boundary when you can say that if any organism is not showing visible movement, then it is dead. No, it is not so sure. Yeah, if it is showing molecular movement, it is living. So visible movement is not a criteria to show someone is living or someone is dead, because anything which is not showing visible movement can be living. Clear? I think I am clear to you. Very clear. Now let's clear the NCERT part. How do we tell? I'm making this thing very easy and clear to you, that what is the meaning of this paragraph. How do we tell the difference between what is alive and what is not alive? In first question or in first condition, you will say if something is moving, it is alive, and if something is not moving, it is not alive. Now your answer is changed. Now you will say, no, we are not taking any criteria or any particular boundary to say that it is living or non-living. We will go further and we will look into a cell and we will see that anything is happening inside a cell or not. If anything is happening inside a cell, any reaction is taking place inside a cell, then it is living. Or if anything is not taking place inside a cell, like any reaction, then it is non-living. Okay, so If we see a dog running or a cow chewing a cud or a man shouting loudly on the street, we know that these are living beings. Okay. But what if the dog or the cow or the man were asleep, they are sleeping, so they are not showing any type of movement? We would still think that they were alive. We think they were alive because they were breathing. But how did we know that? We see them breathing and we know that they are alive. What about plants? Okay, so now we say that they are living because they are breathing. But what about some organism, those who don't breathe? And sometimes we are not able to see someone is breathing. There are so many people who sleeps like they are dead, isn't it? I have seen so many people who sleep like they are living or dead. They don't show any breathing movement at least. So the plants are green, so you can say they are alive. But what about plants that have leaves of color other than green? They grow over time, so we know that they alive. They grow, they show visible movement. We know that they will grow someday, they will change their height someday. So in other words, we tend to think some sort of movement, okay, either growth related or not related. So we have studied about two types of movement. One movement is growth related and one movement is not growth related, but still it is doing movement. Okay, it is working. So plant that is not visibly growing is still alive. There are so many plants which don't show any visible movement. They attain their complete height or maximum height, and now they never grow again. They will never change their height. Some plants will never change their height. They never flower, they never fruit, but they are still alive because there is something inside their cell. Okay, the movements of molecules inside cell. So we can say that if there is any sort of movement or any kind of reaction or anything which is occurring inside a cell, this organism is living. And some animals can breathe without visible movement. Yeah, some humans can breathe without visible movement. So using visible movement as defining characteristic of life is not enough. This is our key point. This question could be asked in exams, that if someone is not showing visible movement, either growth related or not growth related, it is not showing any movement, any type of movement which is visible to you, so it is dead or alive. You can say that it is alive. We will go further and we will look into a cell. If anything is happening inside a cell, then it is living, and if nothing is happening inside cell, it is dead. Okay, now move on to another part, that is which is creating disaster right now, a virus. Okay, corona is also virus, but I'm talking about every kind of virus. There are so many type of viruses which causes us disease. Now virus is something very different. Virus is when it is outside from any living body. Is outside from any living body. The body could be of plant or animal. When virus is outside from any living body, virus never shows any type of movement. Okay, when virus is outside from your body, then you are safe from it. Okay, when virus is in atmosphere, you are safe from it, because when virus is outside from a living body or any living body, it never shows any type of molecular movement. So when virus is outside from a living body, it is considered as death. Okay, again, if it is not showing any molecular movement, then it is dead. Virus never shows any molecular movement or any sort of movement or any sort of life. Anything which shows or which reflects its life is not present in virus when it is outside from any living body. But when virus enters into a living body, okay, when it is inside a living body, that's how it infects us. When virus is outside from our body, no infection, and when virus enters our body or in plant body or in animal's body, there is infection. So inside a living body, virus shows huge molecular activity, huge molecular activity, so many molecular activities. Okay, they make you their slaves. When virus infect us, they think they are owner and we are their slaves. So our body tends to work like what they want, what virus want. Virus wants just sneeze and we sneeze. Virus want you feel, you have to feel cold and we feel cold. Virus wants that you have to feel anxiety and we feel anxiety, everything. Okay, so why this is so? Because virus, this is our cell. We cannot see our cell with naked eyes, and virus is much smaller than our cell. So this, when this virus is outside, it never show any type of movement, but when this virus enters in our cell, it show so many types of molecular activities. And that's why when virus is inside our body, it is considered as living. This is the key point. Virus is dead when it is outside from any living body, because when it is outside, it never shows any type of molecular movement, because they don't have complete apparatus, or they don't have complete machinery to show their molecular movement. They are incomplete organism and they need anything living to show their activity. Okay, so no molecular movement, virus are dead. Yes, molecular activities, yes, virus are living. So what is the criteria to say someone is living or dead? The criteria to say someone is living or dead, if someone is showing molecular activities, then it is considered as living. And when someone is not showing molecular activities, kind of activities which we cannot see with our naked eyes, uh, we can, sometimes we can feel us. Okay, the secretion of saliva, the secretion of sweat, we cannot see how cell is exactly working for this, but we can see that the secretions are coming out. So these type of movements are known as molecular movements. Okay, now one question is clear to you. What is the question? Let's do this question. The question is, what criteria do we decide, about criteria do we use to decide whether something is alive? The criteria is molecular movement, definitely, but not, we will not go for visible movement, that it is we can see its movement with our eyes, or we cannot see its movement with our eyes. No, this is not the clear cut criteria. The clear cut criteria is molecular movement. If someone is showing, or if a cell is showing molecular movement, then the organism is alive. And if this cell is not showing molecular movement, then this organism is dead. Okay, let's take an example of a fan. Right now our all fans are all in our rooms are running. So what would you say, it is living or dead? Everyone knows that they are dead. Why they are dead? Why fans are dead? They are working more efficiently than me. They works day and night, but they are dead. Why they are dead? We can see its movement, but everything we know, that we know one thing, that there is no molecular movement like reactions and production of energy, and something we learned here. Okay, fan never produces power, fan never produces energy which we can use. Fan can't digest our food. Okay, so so there is no living, or there is no all our molecular activity present in machinery. So molecular movement is a clear cut criteria of living. Okay, so this topic is done. And now there are so many type of processes. There are so many type of processes, like breathing, like digestion, like repairing of a body, like our immune system, how our immune system works and how it fights with germs. So there are so many type of maintenance and repairing process in our body. There are so many type of maintenance process: secretion of saliva, secretion of digestive juice, secretion of sweat, heart beating. There are so many type of processes. Definitely all of the processes originates from molecular movement. If molecule never works, a cell organelle will never works. If cell organelle will never works, a cell will never works. If a cell will never works, tissue will never works. Tissue will never works, organ will never works, organ will never works, organ system will never works, and finally body will never works. So there are so many types of processes. Each and every one is originated from molecule or molecular movement. When a molecule works, we know after some complications our body works. So many processes which helps us to maintain our body, to repair our body, to secrete something, to do something. These so many processes, okay, they create life process. So many processes of our body, including secretion of digestive juice, including fighting against germs, including secretion of sweat, including growth of height, including growth of everything which is occurring in a side of our body with the help of, definitely a cell can do it, only a cell can do it. So all the processes which occurs inside our body to maintain our life are known as life processes. Breathing is a life process, digestion is a life process, sweating is a life process, and all originates from molecular movement or work of molecule. Okay, so today I am completing my class, and we can meet on tomorrow same time. Thank you.